Magandang hapon po sa lahat naman nakikinig sa atin. Dito lamang sa ating nag-iisang Radyo Migrante sa Vibe 105, your main source. Maaari nyo rin kami pakinggan sa www.vibe105to.com, sa Bell 5973, Rogers Digital Cable 945, or sa tunein.com sa inyong mga web browsers at smartphones. Ang inyo pong mga makakasama ngayong hapong ito ay ang inyong mga tagapaglingkod na si Rhea Gamana and of course, ang nagbabalik. Louie Kiyano.
Talaga mga introduction mo rin yan, nakakatakot
kasi ang tagal.
Para akong multo nagbabalik
Ang nagbabalik po mula sa
Teka muna, babati muna ako. Ay, magandang hapon po sa taga-subaybay ng Radyo Migrante. Mabuhay kayo sa inyong pananatiling makinig dito sa ating radyo ng Radyo Migrante. Rhea, kumusta ka na?
Okay lang Kuya Louie. It's always good to see you again.
Oo, din ako rin tagal na nating di nagkakasama sa radyo
Months.
Palagi akong excited kapag nasa radyo.
Char, talaga
Siyempre,
lang.
ibang radyo.
Oo nga eh.
So, ang dami nang nangyari. Ano mga nangyayari ngayon? Ang dami nating pag-uusapan.
Oo, ang dami nating pag-uusapan. Mamaya abangan natin sa ating feature interview ay ang pre-recorded na event, no, gathering ng Democratic People's Republic of Korea tungkol ito sa usaping pangkapayapaan, no?
Maganda yan kasi hindi lang naman issue ng Korea yan. Ano yan issue yan ng Asia Pacific region.
Oo.
Yung sabi ng Amerika, i-secure daw nila yung Korea dahil attack. So alam mo naman yung issue ng Korea, 'di ba? Yung nuclear noon na atakahin ng US, ganyan. So peacemaker yata ang US diyan. Pero actually hindi naman
Hindi nga Kasi ang minimiti ng North and South Korea is mapag-isa yung North and South at magiging Korea na lang siya. Mamaya maririnig natin ang isang Korean-American journalist at professor na si Dr. Kiyul Chung na nagbahagi ng kanyang pananaw sa darating na usapan ng dalawang Korea.
Saka alam mo rin, nakakapagtaka rin siyempre Korea yung inaano niya dyan, no? Pero titingnan mo rin yung issue din ng China sa Pilipinas. So, maraming interconnections. Oo. Abangan natin, magandang discussion.
Abangan natin yan, oo. At gusto ko lang sabihin Kuya Louie, na Radyo Migrante is a very proud member of Alter Media, People's Alternative Media Network.
Nako, mabuhay po kayo diyang Alter Media.
Since 2015 po yan.
Oo, nako, tingnan mo, ang tagal na,
Ang tagal-tagal na.
Okay.
Kaya, ayun. Sige, tuloy-tuloy tayo sa ating Radyo Migrante. So, mag-news and headlines po muna tayo. At sa una nating balita, bilateral agreement on protection of Filipino migrant workers in Kuwait yet to be signed by Duterte. Philippine Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III said the proposed labor pact has already been finalized and now awaits President Duterte's approval. Bello, who is a member of the president's delegation to China, speaking to reporters in the town of Boao last Tuesday, April 10th, the signing of the proposed labor protection pact between the two countries might happen after they have finalized the MOU or the Memorandum of Understanding. They just need the go signal on when it will be signed. Asked if he or the president will fly to Kuwait to sign the pact, Bello said it's probably him. The government earlier pushed for a labor protection agreement with Kuwait to prevent a repeat of reported abuses committed against Filipino workers.
Ayan, at sa pangalawa pong balita, mga Pinoy daw, maaari daw kumita ng malaki sa pamimitas ng kabute. Nako, tingnan natin to. Magandang hanap buhay daw naghihintay sa mga Pinoy sa industriya ng kabute o mushrooms ang balita sa ilang mga ahensya. Ilan sa mga kababayan ay nagnanais magtrabaho dahil sa kagustuhang lumipat sa Canada. Ang buwan ng sweldo umano bilang isang mushroom picker ay nasa $3,600. Naku, malaki to. O katumbas ng 150,000 pesos. Naku po, laki nga. Ito ay ayon kay Lily Miranda Hammer, ang CEO at presidente ng A&L Hammer Workforce Management na nag-oorganisa ng isang gala night, siguro isang gala night ito, ika-8 ng Abril. Marami naman ang umalma sa mga kumakalat na balitang oportunidad na makapagtrabaho dito sa Canada. Ayon sa isang dating trabahador, hindi naman per ora ang sahuran kundi kada piraso. Nakadepende sa bilis ng iyong pamimitas ang sasahurin mo at ang $5,000 na bayad sa training ay klaradong pangloloko yan. May training na 1 buwan ang mga bagong picker pero bayad yon ng kumpanya. Ito ang sabi ng isang trabador. Paalala naman ng Embahada ng Pilipinas na nakabase sa Ottawa, magtanong daw muna sa mga kinauukulan kung lehitimo ang mga nasabing mga empleyo upang masigurado na ang karapatan at kapakanan ay mapoprotektahan. Okay, sa pangatlong balita, Migrante Ontario muling inilunsad. 10 taon mula nang naitatag ang Migrante Ontario, muling inilunsad ng isa-isang selebrasyon ang militanteng organisasyon noong Abril 7 sa OPSU Region 5 Office, Toronto. Nagbahagi ang ilang mga organizer sa mahaba at mayamang karanasan ng grupo sa pakipagtulungan sa mga iba't ibang grupong may katulad na layunin ang maitaguyod ang mga karapatan at kagalingan ng mga kababayan dito sa bahaging ng bansang Canada. Inihalal bilang bagong kumiting tagapagpaganap ang mga sumusunod: Lenny Rose Simbre ang tagapangulo, Max Sigera bilang vice, J. Chris Tubigon, pangkalahatang kalihim at Bayani Dades Solidarity Officer at si Nancy Quinion bilang ingatyaman. Wika ng bagong halal na tagapangulo na si Lenny Simbre para maisulong karapatan at kagalingan lalo na ng mga manggagawang Pilipino, susuportahan natin kung anuman ang mga pangangailangan nila. Sa tingin ko naman kung maitaguyod natin ang programang nandyan ang mga miyembro na patuloy na susuporta, ang sabi po ni Lenny Sembri.
At ang huling nating balita, resumption of peace talks backed the Philippine Ecumenical Peace Platform or PEPP, the largest ecumenical formation of church leaders in the community, said it welcomed the recent statement of Presidential Advisor on the Peace Process or OPAP, Jesus Dureza, that the President had directed government negotiators to work on the resumption of peace talks with the National Democratic Front of the Philippines. PEPP said in a statement that as leaders of churches in the country, we appreciate these developments. PEPP said in a statement that as leaders of churches in the country, they appreciate these developments. They hope that the atmosphere for the resumption of the stalled talks will continue to spread positively. PEPP has always championed principled dialogue over the negotiating table to resolve this 50-year-old conflict. The statement was signed by Cagayan de Oro Archbishop Antonio Ledesma, SJ, and Father Rex Reyes Jr. of the National Council of Churches in the Philippines, Bishop Deo Gracias Inigas Jr. and Bishop Noel A. Pantoja of the Philippine Council of Evangelical Churches, and Sister Mary John Mananzan, OSB, of the Office of Women and Gender Concerns of the Association of Major Religious Superiors in the Philippines. The group called on both the Philippine government and the NDFP to resume formal peace talks through the third-party facilitation of the Royal Norwegian Government. At doon po nagtatapos ang ating mga news and headlines ngayong hapong ito. Pero bago tayo magtuloy-tuloy sa ating puso na migrante, ay magpapatugtog muna tayo ng isang awitin.
skin was no issue. Will you stay content at the bottom or fly away to a better view? Let's take a chance, find a love beyond the summer romance. In a dreams believe we can be anything, we can be anything. What if we had no limits, no wrongs, no hesitation? Every waking minute we're free from fears and questions. Will you stand or run and hide? Let's take a chance, find a love beyond a summer romance. In our dreams believe we can be anything, 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 we can be anything.
Ano naman ang ating pulso na migrante
Nako,
ngayon?
maganda
Kuya
ang
Louie?
pulso natin ngayon, Rhea, kasi sa pulso natin, pag-uusapan yung peace talks, ano yung perspective ng Chief Negotiator ng National Democratic Front of the Philippines, na si Fidel Agcawile Capidel, ibabahagi sa atin. Ano ba itong peace talks?
Ayun, kaya pakinggan po natin ang ating pulso na migrante.
Basically, let's try to put this in context. Aren't you getting still at this point mixed signals coming from the government, especially with pronouncements that there might be an opening for the resumption of peace talks, but on the other hand, you have the strong messages coming from the president?
Well, siguro they have to get their act together, no? Pero it's a welcome statement by kung talagang sinabi yun ni Presidente Duterte, no, na open siya uli sa peace talks. Yung kay Bebot naman nata, meron yung pagsasabi niya tungkol niya sa sincerity. Alam naman niya na sincere kami.
It's facing a very serious hurdle because of the issue of bilateral ceasefire agreement. Let's try to discuss this, and somehow I'd like to get your thoughts on how to move forward and hurdle this particular challenge. Bilateral ceasefire agreement. Basically, lagi may back and forth Parang nagiging chicken and egg in discussion Are you actually willing to do bilateral ceasefire agreement even without a final peace agreement with the government?
No, what we agreed upon noong October was a coordinated unilateral ceasefire. 3 agreements yan Package deal. There is the coordinated unilateral ceasefire, there is the general amnesty for political prisoners, and then there is the signing of the what was agreed upon by the reciprocal working committees. No, they still have to meet, the reciprocal working committees. But the working groups of the reciprocal working committees on social and economic reforms have already drafted agreements on agrarian reform and rural development, as well as on national industrialization and economic development. So, itong tatlong ito ang dapat na package yan eh. Dapat na pag. So, certainly, if we are going to sign an agreement on coordinated unilateral ceasefire, we intend to comply with it, just like what we did from August 2016 to February 2017.
Yung 5-month unilateral ceasefire would actually had some benefits for both sides. Pero just for the record, let's say, when are you willing to sign a bilateral ceasefire agreement, which the President is very, very passionate about?
As soon as they come over and we can discuss it, and we can perhaps, if they agree, we can initial, and then we can proceed to a discussion. The RWCs can proceed to a discussion of the the draft that was prepared by the working groups, and then the general amnesty would then be the draft of the general would then be signed or processed by the president immediately. I think it can be done.
That's a bilateral ceasefire agreement. Pero ano yung, saan siya nakatali? For example, let's say you agreed on the KASER. Afterward, you'll talk about, for example, national industrialization, di ba? At what point are you willing, basically, to somehow bend your existing position and somehow give in to this bilateral ceasefire demand coming from the President?
You mean we are going to bend? No, we offer.
For lack of a better word, sir. Sorry. Because this is a negotiation, basically.
We in October, when we met in October, we were the ones who offered the package deal. There should be a general amnesty for for the political prisoners. There should be the signing of agreement on agrarian reform and rural development, and then there would be a signing of a coordinated unilateral ceasefire. And they agreed to it. They gave us their drafts and on the coordinated unilateral ceasefire, and we made changes to it and gave it to them. And then the draft amnesty, general amnesty for political prisoners, and nandyan din, nakahapag na sa kanila. And then, of course, yun nga, itong working groups, yung draft ng working groups, ininitial na yan eh. In terms of being receipted for, no? By the respective RWCs. So, all they need to do is meet, discuss, come to an agreement. Pag natapos na lahat yan, then we can have the resumption of the talks with the panels meeting and signing these agreements.
Pero as far as the National Democratic Front of the Philippines is concerned, what is the status of formal peace negotiations? Is it really terminated as the government claims it to be?
Well, yun ang kanilang claim, no? Tsaka meron pa silang proclamation. Pero it is not in accordance with the what is provided for the means of termination, which is na dapat nagpapadala sila ng written notice sa amin and that will become effective upon receipt by us 30 days after our receipt of the letter, no? Pero ang ginawa nila is public proclamation eh. So, ano naman yan eh, di ba? Ang peace negotiations naman eh, between two parties in armed conflict. So, it takes two, no? Kung yun ang kanilang interpretasyon at the way to do it, kanilang responsibility yun. But as far as we're concerned, it has not been terminated formally, And we claim and we say that we are always open to the resumption of the peace negotiations without any preconditions. No?
At doon po nagtatapos ang ating Pulso na Migrante ngayong hapong ito. Maraming salamat po sa Chief Political Negotiator ng National Democratic Front of the Philippines na si Fidel Agkawili, hinggil doon sa usaping pangkapayapaan na apparently matutuloy na naman.
Resume tayo, Rhea. Resume.
So naudlot.
Urong sulong, ika nga.
So hopefully ito ay magtuloy-tuloy na at hindi na mauudlot kailan pa man.
Pero tandaan naman natin na ang nag-urong dyan ay gobyerno, no? Hindi naman ang National Democratic.
Hindi kailanman.
Sila yung nag-withdraw.
Oo.
Pero ngayon, gusto ng gobyerno uling i-resume.
Hopefully
magandang balita yan.
Oo, magandang balita. Sana magtuloy-tuloy na. Okay, so patuloy po kayo nakikinig dito lamang sa ating nag-iisang Radyo Migrante sa Vibe 105, your main source. At maaari nyo rin kami pakinggan sa www.vibe105to.com, sa Bell 5973, Rogers Digital Cable 945, or sa tunein.com sa inyong mga web browsers at smartphones, at hanapin lamang ang Vibe 105.5 FM. Pag-uusapan natin ang usapang pangkapayapaan between the Democratic People's Republic of Korea at ng South Korea. At makakasama natin mamaya ay si Dr. Kiyul Chung. Mamaya mapapakinggan natin ang interview niya. Courtesy yan ni Mr. Ish Cabanya.
Siya yung nag-interview, no? Nandun siya sa event.
Nandun talaga siya sa event na yon. Oo. Ito po ay patungkol sa usapang kapayapaan ng Democratic People's Republic of Korea at ng South Korea. At ang ating makakapanayam or nakapanayam ni Ish ay si Dr. Kiyul Chung. Paki-introduce nga po ni Louie.
Dr. Kiyul Chung, siya ang isa sa delegado dun sa founding ng International League of People's Struggles or ILPS, First International Assembly. Siya rin yung ang lead organizer ng Korea Truth Commission na kailan lamang ay bumisita sa Montreal at Toronto para magbahagi tungkol dun sa ano ba yung nangyayari sa Inter-Korea Summit at dun sa historic US-North Korea Summit nitong Abril. Currently, he runs the 21st Century website, an independent media with contributors from different parts of the world. So, matindi ito.
Oo, kaya pakinggan natin.
Ever since I left the North American continent, back home to Korea, Seoul, to teach 1 year, then I was kicked out of Korea by the government in the name of I'm a danger to the national security of Korean Peninsula. So I was lucky picked up by Chinese government to begin to teach at the Chinese Social Academy. It's, as you know, is the Chinese Communist Party official think tank. Honored to teach for 3 years, and then I was invited to Tsinghua University, where the President Xi Jinping and the previous President Hu Jintao and the political power, the figures from that university. So it has become like a Harvard in the East. Since 2009, I am working at Tsinghua, while I also fly to Japan, including 5 Japanese universities, particularly Korea University. It's a Korean-Japanese university, honored to teach. And then in 2015 March, I was called into, as you said, they said to me that you are the only person from outside world ever invited to teach at the Kim Il-sung University's Department of Social Science. There are foreigners invited to teach at their, for example, music or the science or the business, etc., but never allowed the people from outside to deal with issues of, we say here, the political science or the social science issues. And such an honor. I am still teaching there. Every year I stay about 3 months about month and a half in the spring, and then the month and a half in the fall, while I divide my time in China and in Japan. But now I'm back to Washington, D.C., while I hold these titles, run an institute, the think tank called the 21st Century Independent Media, or some call it the alternative media. So this is the brief background of who I am, what I'm doing last. This particular moment is not a musicians and singers coming and going and down and up. It's a symbolic message to the world and to us. There's something really serious taking place. Something is about to take place, which will change our lives, not only Korean, the lives of the Korean people, but also the Northeast Asia, but also, I dare say, the global population. The something fundamentally will change, which we will find out in the coming 2-3 months, which is that the April 27, the North-South Summit, it's the third summit. As you may remember, Kim Dae-jung, Kim Jong Un, and Kim Jong Il, Nomuhyun in 2000 and 2007, slowly resuming the North-South talk, no matter what, no matter how hard, no matter how difficult it is, they dare to bring about their divided nations to a one unity, one reunified country. This is a symbolic picture, a symbolic moment. That's what's taking place at this very moment. With that news, we could tell certain things about North and South now, but we are not sure whether we could say something with certain language. Something will happen definitely, because it's very fragile, as you know. The establishment within the Washington, the official authoritative line and system, it's not in good shape. In a very humble language, but in a more real term, it's in terrible disarray. It's not in good fashion. The real authority stands high. There's no real power being exercised from the mouth of the President of the United States of America. So it is the U.S. we have to worry about, not the other end. According to the Politburo, one of the Politburo member of the Chinese Communist Party, dispatched by the President Xi Jinping, 2 days ago to Seoul, Korea, met yesterday with President Moon. The Yang Jie-zi, the Chinese spelling, Yang Jie-zi said, I quote, "What we had in Beijing, meaning the DPRK-China summit, will definitely help the North-South summit, including the U.S. DPRK summit meeting." That's the message from the President Xi Jinping, directly phoning to Trump, and he sent one of his men to Seoul, President Moon, "Sir, don't worry. What we had will definitely help what you guys are going to have." That's what's going on. So, having said that, this scheduled May summit seemingly may take place, including you, but also almost everybody on earth are so anxious to find out. And there's another message that not spoken in language from the Chinese government. They are terribly sorry. I mean, what a foolish act the Chinese government and the people have taken, played by the U.S., so-called North Korea, the nuclear issue for the last 25 years. And it was China that played the bad guy's role to hit the hand of the DPRK for 25 years and pushed by the U.S. and slapping and all that. So now, all of a sudden, Trump the March the 8th, in when he received the South Korean envoy, even he finished his report. Yes, I will meet Mr. Kim Jong Un. Yes. You please go out to make the announcement to the world. When that happened, at that very moment, the Chinese, boom. We are fooled by the Washington games, and so they didn't say it in public. And now the 87 million population of the CPC party members, majority are, they call it the Chin-Main, is a pro-U.S. faction. That's why the Chinese Communist Party, even if it's a communist party, acts like, in a way, like a U.S. power. I will use the definite term. Something is going to be really changed within Chinese Communist Party system. Why? China is not anymore saying, before the last week, with the Xi Jinping is not bound by the previous constitution, which doesn't allow for the party chair to stop after 2 terms, meaning after 10 years, they have to go, to disappear. But Xi Jinping is now free to stay as long as he has a party support and from people. And so it's not anymore so-called collective shared the party leadership. Usually it's shared by 3 factions, so-called, and 3 powers share the Chinese, they rule the 1.3 billion population, but that's not going to happen anymore. It is going to be a more single unity or unified political party led by the Xi Jinping will conduct the leadership. So certain things, particularly in the question of international relations, will come out. I can use more definite language on that change. Unless that was firm, it wasn't going to happen. What Kim Jong Un received by the Chinese leadership, whole national leadership, was unprecedented. Not even President Kim Jong-il, Kim Il-sung, and Chairman Kim Jong-il got this much unprecedented. So even South Korean media say the Kim Jong-un was treated like the emperor of something. So the 황제 대접. They treat him like an emperor. I mean, what is different from 1999 and 2000 and this 2018 is first, that 1999 and 2000, the U.S.-North Korea the dialogue or even the diplomatic relations normalized and all that dream, it's like a dream may come true moment was disappeared all of a sudden with the rise of the W. Bush, the whole thing, and the Clinton. If he had planned to go there, he could have gone to Pyongyang and to normalize relations. The William Perry made a visit to Pyongyang and conduct his research team and came out called the Perry Report in September 1999, calls and argues that there is no military solution. So one option, talk to them. Based upon that, Madeleine Albright went, and then back and forth, and then Clinton was about to go, it was stopped. The dreams about to come, then it's all of a sudden was, North Korea has a power. That's now the nuclear power. The power, if it's used for the purpose, then it's a mass destruction. But if you use that power for the sake of goodness of everybody, then that power should be kept honored. And what is different from the 1999? The North Korea, no matter what, they have that power to force Washington and listen and sit down to talk. So actually, it is. I think this point must be clear to everybody. It is not the Washington so good, great guy, humble guy, and the wonderful guy, so allowing Koreans to live in peace, and so congratulations. It's not what is taking place. As they say, that And what that has made happen? Pyongyang has power. That power is a constructive power and win-win power. Make everybody win-win. So I argue that's the most fundamental difference from the 1999 and today. And that will direct the course, the future, whatever takes place, that will be the barometer. That's the principal barometer that makes the future course in moving toward. Not anymore. I often argue in my papers that there's no place to Washington move back anymore. They're not going to allow the outside interference by any means, by any form. And they are now so sure they must stay together. So the British media called it's their strategic decision to realign, even to further strengthen their strategic relationship, not only for their own survival, but also for the sake of the future of the world. So that means so much to the people of China and Korea, particularly the DPRK population, who suffered so much, singled out, demonized, non-stop, and threatened by the nuclear war and threatened by the sanctions, and no matter what, they've survived. So that says the Korean population will have much more broader space to breathe. It's been difficult for them to hang on, but they have never knelt down before any threats from outside, which like the great Vietnamese people defeated two colonial powers. First the French and the American power, the great people. In a genuinely humble way, we've been talking about what we do is not only for our people's sake. What we do is for the sake of everybody on earth. That's what the DPRK position all along. So I said last night that if and when the Koreans finally bring the brothers and sisters from the north and south around the world into a humbly, peacefully reunited country as a neutral power, it's already stated that. It's been said all along from the north, and we're not going to pro-US, pro-Japan, pro-China, pro-Russia. No, because Korean Peninsula is a geopolitically situated. It's at the heart of the four major powers of the world. So if we choose one side, then it's sort of suicidal. So we talked about it. So if we are, I personally believe it is coming. It's going to be soon to be a reality, irreversible reality. If we make that happen, it's going to be our people's humble presentation, our humble gift to the world population. People like our brothers and sisters who still struggle to bring about your own independence. To them, our struggle, our case may become a model case. How the Koreans have come to this far from unbelievable circumstances for not only 20, 30 years, for over 70 years, to deal with whole world, not only US, it's the whole UN, including China and Russia, with the manufactured story, the North Korean nuclear issue. But again, to make the long story short, this Korea not only survived, as I said, but also forced US power to sit with them to sign the paper. So now that really is the irreversible the reality. Then world and the Philippine brothers and the friends of people around the world, they will begin to question how. In a humble way, we may be able to present a humble gift as a model for the humanity. That's why I dare to put the name of our institute as a 21st century. I think that when we come to as a one Korea, one peaceful nation, then it can be as a universal lesson how you can defend yourself, how you can be independent, how you can obtain your right to be sovereign, your sovereignty, and how they could have survived, not only survived, but also how they dare to deter such an aggressive power, such a hegemonic power from Washington for not even 10, 20 years. Is a total span is 72 years now. And the so-called nuclear, the confrontation between the U.S. and the DPRK officially began 1991, over 25 years. And now people in the world seem to figure out really what's going on there and who they are. And through these scenes, people seem to catch a little bit more about what's going on in that part of the world. Very revered scholar named Jeffrey Lewis. Dr. Jeffrey Lewis is a senior analyst at Middlebury, the institute based in California, but he's by far in the mainstream scholarship, is by far the most big figure on Korea question. After July 4th, the big gift from Kim Jong Un, he said the game is over. And his article, not published by the independent media like us, the 21st century, but on the Foreign Affairs, the powerful magazine, the real powerful, the real guys, have this powerful magazine. Foreign Affairs carried this story. Then it has become like a contagious among the Washington power, the New York Times. And the Washington Post follow after the New York Times. And then the third powerful news, the mainstream media, the LA Times carried out the same story. So China, in a way, lost their central leadership role in the 21st century. That everybody has looked upon the China, the rising power, the money power, economic power, and that everybody from the West, from the Washington to the Beijing, the people began to look upon and expecting something, some leadership on the question of the North Korea so-called nuclear issue. China, in a way, has given up that role and as like assistant to the Washington power, hitting their little brother 25 years and suffocating the North Korean economy. And now, U.S. is going to meet Kim Jong Un, Trump. So China. But Kim Jong Un ran to Xi Jinping, China, saving their face. Brother, we are brothers and sisters. Our forefathers, we're one people. So let's go. This is what happened. Thank you.
At doon po nagtatapos ang panayam ni Ish Kabanya kay Dr. Kiyul Chung na naging bahagi naging bahagi siya doon sa usaping pangkapayapaan ng Democratic People's Republic of Korea at ng South Korea. Siguro Kuya Luis, dahil malapit na magtapos ang ating siguro konting wrap up lang doon sa usaping pangkapayapaan kasi alam din natin ito. Sa bahagi ng Pilipinas, gobyerno ng Pilipinas at ng National Democratic Front of Philippines, walang may gusto ng gyera. No?
Ano yan ang tingin ko lang naman dyan yung kasi palipas na kasi yung kapangyarihan ng Amerika para kontrolin yung Asia Pacific region. So gusto nilang pumustura doon na meron kami pa ring dyan. Pero interest ng Amerika ang dinadala nila dyan. Hindi naman interest ng mga
sambayanan.
taga-Korea.
Gera ang hinahanap po ng Estados Unidos. Kaya kung titingnan natin sa geography siguro, yung posisyon ng Amerika, ng US Army actually, doon sa Pilipinas, napakalapit sa Manila Bay. So ibig sabihin, napakalapit siya doon sa kalalapit na bansa, no, ng Southeast Asian countries, kung saan ay mga third world countries din to, Kuya Louie. So just like the Philippines, Vietnam. So napaka-importanting balikan itong mga usaping pangkapayapaan ito, dahil po isa ito sa mga dahilan kung bakit nagkakaroon ng giyera, no, between, let's say for example, ng North and South Korea, and then likewise with the Philippines, the government of the Philippines and the National Democratic Front of the Philippines. So
at saka ano yun, yung pagkukombine, yung sinasabi nilang North and South Korea, yung pag-iisa nila.
Magiging Korea siya.
Matagal na kasing nangyari yan noon pa. Pero pinipigil talaga ng US na mag-unite.
Mag-unite, oo.
Bakit? Bakit? Siyempre, sa interest pa rin nila yun, nakasalalay. So, ang mahalagang tingnan dito ay hindi pa yung role ng Amerika na nakikialam sa ganitong mga internal affairs ng mga bansa. Dapat ito, hayaan ng Amerika na ang North at South ang gumaod para sila mag-decide para sa kanilang sariling pagpapasya, hindi kapasyahan ng US.